Narcissists love to be chased. That is the essence of what breadcrumbing is. You take one breadcrumb and then he drops another, so you pick up that one, and then he or she will drop another one, and they're moving the whole time. So a better way to express this is just stringing you along, keeping you going for the bait. We talked about this in another video not too long, but it's kind of like tying a fishing string to a dollar bill and laying it on the sidewalk. Someone comes to pick it up and you pull it. So they try to pick it up again, thinking the wind is blowing it, so you pull it again. And they do that for a while, but eventually it's kind of obvious what's going on. Breadcrumbing, much the same way. It's also a form of future faking. So they're wanting you to think that things are going to get better in the future, so they keep dropping these hints. And it could be something they say, it could be something they say explicitly, or it could be something they say explicitly, where they just flat out tell you this is what's going to happen. Or maybe they just lead you on thinking things are going to get better, and they may do something that kind of reassures you that the narcissist is really on your side and has your best interests at heart. And of course, they never do. The narcissist cares about one person only, and that is the narcissist. When they are kind, and you already know this, I'm sure, but when they are kind, courteous, when they come across as very charismatic and friendly, affable, that is just a ploy. That is just to get you to stay in their good graces. And they tend to treat everybody that way, except once you get into their web of deceit, that's when they begin to change. But to everyone else, they're just great people. They're wonderful people. And sometimes you'll encounter this. Say, for example, that you have a relative who is a narcissist, maybe a mother or maybe a dad. And other people will come up to you and say, you know, you are so lucky to have so-and-so as your mom or dad. And you're thinking, no, you don't know these people. But you can't tell them because they won't believe you. In fact, if you try to tell them that the narcissist is really a bad guy, they will become a little bit angry with you because they have this false perception, the one that you had during the love bombing stage. So you really can't blame them because, you know, we all had that same problem. So the narcissist is stringing you along, and one of the indicators, at least in my experience, that I was being breadcrumbed is with a narcissist, you never really know where your standing is with these people. Because one moment they're with you, and the next minute, where'd they go? You know, I say next minute, sometimes it's weeks at a time, they disappear. Then they come back, and then they disappear. What they do is they come back to drop another breadcrumb, just to keep stringing you along. I had one friend that I'm convinced was a full-blown narcissist, and he, you know, we'd get together now and again, have lunch, whatever, talk about politics or religion or whatever came to our minds. Some things that I don't talk about on this channel, by the way. And I thought, you know, we're pretty good friends, but then he disappeared for over a year. I mean, just gone. Now, what I didn't realize was he was in jail because he had scammed some other people. And obviously he didn't tell me, he didn't tell anybody. And you would not have known were it not for public records. Well, I guess it was in the newspaper. You know, when somebody's incarcerated, it's a public record. And, you know, how many people actually read that? Some people do. Some people read it loyally, but most people don't. But the narcissist is wanting to hold you, keep you in their sphere, and they love it. They absolutely, positively love to string people along because they like to be chased. That tells them, and their twisted way of thinking, that they have value and they love to devalue you. So the fact that you are chasing after them and not them chasing after you tells them that they have value and you don't, that they're very wise and savvy and smart, and you're just flat out stupid because you keep falling for it. You know, it's kind of like if you drop a penny on a sidewalk, when you're walking with someone, you say, oh, look, there's a penny. And the person bends over and picks it up. Hey, thanks, got me a penny. And then you drop another one. Say, oh, look, there's another penny. And they pick it up. Oh, thanks. And then you do a third time. Well, the third time, they usually figure out what you're doing. They say, hey, come on. But with a narcissist, it's a little more involved than that. They're a little more savvy, a little more tricky. And, yeah, they can lead people on for a very long time. Now, the danger of this is we actually believe what the narcissist is doing is an expression of their true, genuine interest in us. So we keep picking up the breadcrumbs. We think, oh, there for a minute there, I thought this guy wasn't my friend. Or if it's a love relationship, I thought maybe they had lost interest in me. But now, here they're back. It's really weird. So, they may send you a text message, or they may leave a phone call. People still do that anymore. So they may leave you a text message and all is well, and then you don't hear from them for several days. Then they'll send you 2 or 3, maybe 4 text messages. You have a short conversation back and forth, and they're satisfied. They're happy that you are still on the line, that they still got you, stringing you along, still got you on the string. And that's a part of what breadcrumbing is. It is making sure that you are still on the string. So they will drop these breadcrumbs, they will drop these, and breadcrumbs could be something like a text message, or could be just calling you, say, hey, let's have lunch or whatever, then disappearing for a while, or could be just being kind to you. When they see you out and about, it's like a reassurance to you that they are still your friend or still your love interest. It is a reassurance to the narcissist that you are still on the line. So they do that as a form of reassurance to them and to you. It's just a trick that they play. The reason they do this is it makes them, again, feel very empowered. As we said earlier, they love to be chased because that shows they are manipulating you and therefore they are in control. And what does that do? It boosts their ego. And you all know, what do we call it when people boost your ego? When narcissists boost your ego, we call that supply, right? So it's just another way of getting supply. Now, my experience has been they do this primarily during the love bombing stage and maybe in the early part of the abuse stage. But as they become more and more abusive, they know this thing is going to burn out eventually. And so the need for breadcrumbing, because they think they already got you caught. So the need for breadcrumbing in their mind seems to be negligible. It's no longer there. There's no longer a need for it. And of course, the whole thing winds up eventually with a massive smear campaign, which the narcissist, as we said in an earlier video, I think earlier today, the narcissist has a smear campaign beginning at the very onset. I mean, when he or she begins love bombing, they're saying some bad things about you, not a lot, but a few bad things about you behind your back. They don't want to say much because they don't want to be found out early. But as it wears on and then the final discard, that's where they just cut loose. And they just flat out no longer breadcrumb you because they're done with you. They discard you and the smear campaign begins in earnest. There are 2 rectangles on the screen. You know why? So we can keep talking if you want to keep hanging out. All you got to do is click on one of those 2 rectangles and the conversation will continue. But if not, thanks for stopping by and we will see you all next time.